I'm looking to work with 5 left-handed, lazy-eye lesbians looking to lose a bit of elbow fat whilst only being able to drink filtered isotonic water. It's the kind of shit that coaches say in today's world because that's what they think when they get told that they need to niche down. You have experts online saying that you are the niche, so you should just completely talk about yourself, whilst you also have the camp that say you don't even need a niche. Because of this contrast in information, you don't know what advice to listen to, so you just end up spinning your wheels and never making any meaningful progress with your content creation. So my promise to you is that by the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly what a niche is and if you actually need one so that you can just focus on creating and grow your coaching business. Let's dive right into it. My client Ross was stuck for years creating generic fat loss content for middle-aged men and women, not really getting any traction or leads into his business. However, Ross was previously a semi-professional rugby player and had recently retired from playing altogether. So he decided to start a new Instagram account helping aspirational rugby players with their nutrition and training. And just from changing his niche, everything changed. He now doesn't have to second guess the kind of content he makes because he's in the exact same shoes that his audience are currently in. He can make little references to the post-match beers and how to navigate these while still making progress. Again, because he's been there. He can take the piss out of some players being super strong in the gym, but barely being able to actually move on the pitch. And the result, consistent people engaging in his content, opting in for his lead magnets so he's getting email sign-ups, and a new lease of life for his content creation. Now, when people think of their niche, they automatically default to the boring basics. Whether their niche is male or female, what age range they fall into, whether they have kids or not, and if they're a busy professional, which, newsflash, most people would consider themselves busy, and if they can afford your services, probably have a profession of some kind. Whilst all of these can be in your mind, this is just the surface level stuff that doesn't really mean too much. Because if you were a coach who said that they worked with mums over the age of 30 and a 29-year-old dad wanting to work with you, are you realistically going to turn them down just because that's not in your niche? I'd presume not. So what do you actually need to be focusing on? Your niche is the characteristics of the kind of person you want to work with. So this could be the type of humor they have. Do they appreciate dark humor, or are they a little bit more sensitive and don't really find it appropriate? Do they like sports? If so, what sports do they like? For example, you could talk about football more in your content and take the piss out of certain teams. Are they into fashion at all? Or do they dress like every NPC male in the UK, covered head to toe in represent clothing? What TV shows or films do they like? Are they like me and a little bit nervous that the new Peaky Blinders movie might destroy all of the good work that was put into the series because they are absolutely top? Are they going to understand UK pop culture references? Because when I say to my missus, "Ooh, friend," obviously quoting the In-Betweeners, she doesn't have a clue what's going on, but most of my Instagram audience does. "Oh, friend, oh, new friend." The deeper that you can go with these questions, the more you can learn about the type of person you want to work with and resonate with them more through your content. Now, the next question that arises is when you sit there and think, do I even need a niche if I would work with anyone? Which is a very valid question and thought to have. So let me explain to you why you do need a niche, even if you work with people outside of it. And I'll even use my own video editing business as an example. Over the past 3.5 years, I've been posting content directed at online fitness coaches specifically so that they choose to work with me as their video editor. Now, during the time period, have I worked with clients outside of this niche? Of course, I've worked with accountants, I've worked with estate agents, teachers, and many different professions. But the reason I needed to know my niche is so that when it comes to my own content creation, I know exactly who I'm talking to in every single video. I'm not sat there on a week-by-week basis giving generic advice that can be applied to anyone and everyone. Because if that were the case, it would be very challenging for the algorithm to know who to push my content to, and would likely result in my content resonating with absolutely no one. So instead, I've always focused my marketing strategy and attention to helping online coaches, as this is my area of expertise. And if people from other sectors see my work, like what I'm about, and want to work with me, well then I'm in that strong position to decide whether it's a right fit or not. Therefore, for most coaches, I would plead with you to pick a niche and talk to them within your content. Now, with the example that I gave with Ross earlier in the video, this is something that is naturally going to progress with time and experience. And I'd urge you to constantly update this, whether it be in your head or on an actual document of some sort. Even something like a Google document would be great here. But once you've got your niche, what kind of content do you need to focus on making? Well, watch this video next and I'll explain to you all of the content types you could be making as an online coach and how to know how to choose your own content pillars.